From up here with the lights on, I can't even see if you're out there, which is kind of fun. Yeah. No, it's going to actually live, and so the grand, if you're the number one and you come up to be category, I would appreciate if you take your tags off. So all the student teams may just want to take all your tags off right now, so that if you win, you just come up. And that way we all look better than we ordinarily do. And they'll clean us up in the video editing, so that'll be fun. So, okay, wonderful. Actually, if we were a Cub Scout meeting, we could sing a song to let the late people show up. All right. Thank you all for coming to our award ceremony for Cast in Steel 2025. It's been a marvelous new way of doing the competition. Actually doing qualifying rounds and preparing it for a TV series has been really both a challenge and a joy. And I have to admit that we had tremendous help doing this. So I'd like first to give a round of applause to Luke Ellis and the studio for doing such a terrific job of working with us to capture our competition on film. So let's give them a round of applause. Secondly, the Steel Founders Society staffed this event, and the studio was confident that we would be incompetent enough that the testing would be slow. So they anticipated 8 minutes per team per test, and we thought it wouldn't take more than 5 minutes and thought 3 minutes would be more than adequate. And you saw how rapidly and how well our team did. They were just unbelievably good, whether it's Renee organizing thing or Tori and Kaylin and Dave moving things on and Ryan moving things on and off the stage. They were just absolutely fabulous. So let's give them a round of applause. I hope all of you who are students took the time and made the effort to engage all of our judges, both the performance judges and subject matter judges. They are fantastic people who are really bright and capable and excited about you and about helping you understand what we do. And often they're the kinds of people you want to become. So you should spend a little time talking to them. They will almost all be here for a little time after we finish giving the awards recognition. And if you haven't had the chance, you should talk to them. And if you want a picture with them, we'll try to make sure that we have plenty of time afterwards for the team to get together with any of the judges and get a picture made. Because we know that you really would appreciate that. So let's give the judges all a big hand. So now what we're going to do, I'm going to announce one of the senior subject matter judges who did the event to come up and make the third, second, and first place award in each category. And that judge then, when the first category comes, will ask that team to come forward and we'll have their sword so they can hold it up so that we can applaud them and really recognize them. Each of these judges may have some observation to make, something they thought was funny or some sword that they thought was impressive. And I'm delighted if they do that, but if they begin to drone on too long, I'll come up and kick them in the knee and kick them off the platform. But other than that, I'd be delighted for them to spend a little time talking about things that they observed or funny things that they would like to say. I just hope if they say something funny, it's funny. So in any case, we'll go ahead and get started. and we'll start with the first category. There are 5 categories that you competed in, and each one of them counted towards the grand prize. So it wasn't as though performance was the only category that really counted. And the first category we're going to recognize is one that really is valuable to us and to you, and that's the video. So Robert Monroe is going to come up and announce the winners for the video. Dave pointed out that I was really an idiot because we actually have a video of introduction. So if you'll shoot the video.
The United States of America was built on the shoulders of proud men and women. Among them, one stands above the rest, the nation's first president, George Washington. Washington was a capable and resilient leader, guiding the American military forces to victory in the Revolutionary War. And always by his side was his trusted hanger sword. His collection of swords, spanning both civilian and military styles, reflected his status: regal, elegant, and expertly crafted. These blades have carved their place in American history. Now, history will be made once again. Teams from colleges and universities around the world have come together to recreate their own version of one of George Washington's legendary swords. The journey has been grueling. Each team has faced the challenge of forging, shaping, and testing their blades to perfection. A panel of expert judges has put their creations to the test, evaluating durability, versatility, and performance. And now, the results are in. Who will rise to the challenge? Who will shatter the competition? And whose sword will live up to the legacy of George Washington's iconic weapon? Welcome to the Cast in Steel 2025 Award Ceremony.
So now for the video. Robert.
How's everybody doing? Isn't this exciting? Woo! All right, so my job was to judge the videos, and as my dad said, videos are quite important because even if you make an amazing product, if you have no way to tell people about it, they're not going to know about it. So thank you all for such great videos. The quality took a huge step up because there was a lot of actual video this year. Because in previous years, a lot of times it was just a PowerPoint. And I get it, there's deadlines, but I did appreciate a lot of videos, a lot of talking, a lot of storytelling. Fantastic. One of the big discerning parts of this is creativity, and then this wasn't necessarily mentioned, but coming from my background and what it's about, having a clear narrative, having a structure that's easy to follow, that you understand, just makes for a great video. So, with that out of the way, I got an honorable mention I want to throw on here, which is Pitt State. And here's why. Melissa actually just grabbed me while I was down on the Cast Expo floor and explained that that very unusual skit that involved a banana phone and a boat and like actual water and filming and craziness, that was actually based on a historical account from George Washington's life. So I had to give you some credit for that. All right, with that being said, I'm going to start going through third place, second place, first place. This is how it's going to work for all the categories. Third place and second place, I just want you guys to stand up. We'll recognize you. And then first place typically comes up, although they are not here today, but we'll get to that when we get there. All right, our third place video winner for Cast in Steel 2025 is Missouri University Team MS Steel. What I thought was fantastic about your video is that you did not shy away from the uncomfortable failures in the process, but you actually leaned into it. They used it as a narrative device. They started with Murphy's Law, if you're familiar, you know. And they basically took the story. And then I was so happy for you guys when you went to that cherry dowel. You know, everyone's scared of it. You just went and did it, and the sword survived, and it was incredible. So thank you for that. Let's give them another round of applause. Our second place video winner of Cast and Steel 2025 is Virginia Tech, Team Sword McSwordface. Coming from the entertainment industry, this was the best executed in many ways. It had that easy breezy vlog style that is so popular right now. I could have seen this just on somebody's big YouTube channel. It was fantastically done. And I think as well, on top of that, everyone was in it just talking in a normal way. It's so hard to be comfortable on camera, and you guys just nailed it, and it was fun to watch. So great job. All right, our final first place winner for video of Cast and Steel 2025 is the Instituto Tecnológico de Morelia, the Team Alloys Avengers. Although they were not here to make it, I hope you're on the live stream watching this, so congratulations. Let me just say a couple things that made this video really stand out. The first is they really knew how to use modern tools. You know, 5-10 years ago, you could pull out your iPhone. These days, you can use AI and other editing tools to make that workload a lot more manageable and use it to great effect and get a much higher production value product. For all of those that you watched that video, you can see it had that standout quality that was quite impressive. The other thing that I really liked about it is a lot of teams tried to segment the historical part of the presentation with the process of making the thing. And what I thought was really unique about this video is they actually combined it in one and told one nice cohesive line of communication all the way throughout. And so thank you so much for all the videos you made. You guys did awesome. And one more round of applause for the first place winner.
The very first competition, we asked for a Viking axe. And one of the first questions I got from the teams is, we want to make sure we make what you want, so define for us a Viking axe. And I thought about it and realized that's actually part of the project. Part of the project is you tell me why you think what you made was a Viking axe. And because of that, we added the category of the authenticity. Which one really shines out as being authentic in terms of matching what a George Washington sword would be. And we're really fortunate, really blessed, because we have a historic weapons recreator who actually made a George Washington sword. You saw it yesterday when we competed. And so we're really blessed to have David Baker here to announce the winners for the most authentic.
Hey, gang. I get up here and I start getting emotional because what you guys put into these swords, what you guys put into this competition, what you guys put into this production that we're trying to build is amazing. Your energy, your hard work, all these things came together to create an amazing competition this year. I'm really proud of you. Give yourselves a round of applause. You guys inspire me to go home and do better work, which is, you know, really something. All right, best sword authenticity. Who did the best, closest George Washington swords? We got the 3 places. Now, when I call out your name, please stand up and, you know, so we can all applaud you. All right, in third place. I forgot my glasses today because they're all covered in coconut juice. Anyway, Third place, we've got Georgia Southern University. Stand up, guys. I can't see anybody. They're standing up, or they're not here.
There are three teams.
Oh, sorry. Well, it's partners in crime. All right, guys. Second place, we've got Trine University, the Foundry and Freedom. Really love that sword. In first place for authenticity, we've got the University of Wisconsin-Platteville, Pouring Pioneers. Way to go, guys. Pouring Pioneers, you guys come up here.
My casting judges really think that I should have tighter rules, like some minimum quantity or some minimum shape. But I think that's fundamentally incorrect, because I give them the charge of just saying who used the casting process to create the most value, to use the casting process creatively to really do something that made their sword special. And so this is one of the categories I like the best, because it really leaves it open for you to figure out the best way to use casting to really not just add value, but to be creative. So I'm really thrilled with the kinds of things you do. And we're going to ask Joe Plunger to come up and recognize the best casting use. Come on up, Joe.
I'm sure a lot of you also recognize me from testing. John Corey and I made a number of trips up. I apologize for the swords that I broke. John Corey and Sean Evans and I were the group who was looking at the best casting. Raymond described our task. We saw a lot of really nice, interesting approaches to casting, great uses of the process, some innovations. I've got some notes I'm taking back, in fact, to look at some things. And ultimately, when we got done and looked at those swords, which we did before testing, by the way, we came down to the thought of not only how the casting process was used, but also a look at the product. I mean, ultimately, out in the world, when we get done, we want somebody to buy that, right? So it needs to be a product that we think our clients will ultimately like. And with that, third place for best casting in the 2025 Cast in Steel is Trine University's Foundry of Freedom. It was a great looking casting, nice detail. One really interesting thing about this is a really tough geometry, right? Tough to cast, and these guys did it in green sand. So really something to be recognized there. In second place, Youngstown State University, Team George Washington. This was another team that did some really innovative things with their casting. They described it as their crack pipe mold design, right? The way that they cast the part. And then they had a dump valve, and they let out the risers very early in the process so that they wouldn't get strain or tears in the casting, and ended up with a good sound part. And then later cast the handle onto the blade. So really, again, a very nice, unique approach to the casting process. And in first place, Georgia Southern University, Partners in Crime. Another really nice detailed part, great finish. Unfortunately, didn't survive testing, but so they each get the whole one part.
One of the really highly ranking categories is the technical report. We limit it to 30 pages. And I have to tell you that when we started, the judges told me 6, 7 years ago that it was relatively easy. You could look through the reports and there were only 3 or 4 that you really needed to read carefully because the rest weren't that well written. Now they tell me it takes them 2 days because they have to read each report really carefully and do an internal scoring just to be able to make a differentiation between the tops and the not top technical reports. So you've done an outstanding job these days in really writing the technical report. And so John Corey is going to come up and recognize the best technical report.
Real quick, I want to thank people. First, Steel Founders for putting this on. It's awesome. Second, I'd like to thank the Department of Defense for the funding and spending our taxpayer money the way I like. The sponsor companies who sponsored you, the ones I can remember I've been thanking as I went around the show. If they're here, please thank them. I'd also like to thank the schools and their advisors for letting you do this, and mostly the participants. Thank you for giving me hope for the future for this industry. Now, things I learned during this. Our failure rate was about 1/3, and I was doing math this morning. What I discovered is forgings and castings each suffered the same percentage of failures pretty much, within a little range. So castings are good even in a forged product. Failures, most of what we saw was cracks. Different types, you don't really want to jump to a conclusion what they were, but 80% of them were in our low alloy steels. So what do? We quench them. Y'all learned something. Be careful with the quenching. Students, what did you learn? I think you learned about foundries. We all don't pour the alloys you might want to pour the sword out of. So you got to find other people. Get out there, meet them. We don't necessarily pour them when you are ready. Plan in advance. And we're all willing to work with you. Just work with us. Contact us. Stay in touch. Work with as many people as you can. Start your network. This is how you're going to solve problems and get to know people in the future. For those that had trouble with funding, start early. Ask your local AFS chapter. Ask your school, which is actually a financial institution. They have a lot more money than the rest of us. And for those of you who will be back next year, start planning tomorrow. If you ever hear a team that wins a championship, what do? They start planning for the next season tomorrow. They'll celebrate tonight. So I also have, last couple years, given out a fun no prize award. This is just my favorite music from the video. And I got to tell you, I was Yankee Doodle dandied to death by a lot of the music, which is great. I'm a very patriotic person, but this is the steel industry. We do a little more. In third place, I have University of Dayton with their Phil Collins in the air. Who doesn't do the air drums in that? So that was number 3. Number 2, Cal Poly Pomona, the Vanguard team. Killers, excellent music. It talks steel. And yes, I am old, but I still know the Killers. But number 1, Believe it or not, I used to have hair, and University of Tennessee, Knoxville used Motley Crue. Rock and roll is the steel industry. Best technical paper. What did I see in the reports? Okay, make sure your report information matches what you have. There was a little mismatch between some summaries and what was in the guts of the paper itself. I don't know about the other judges, but I have a spreadsheet that's about this wide. It lists your molding method, any 3D printing, SolidWorks, what you use for solidification modeling, all that. Write about your experience in the process. AI is not going to do this for you. What problems did you encounter? Just like in best casting, you all overcame something to get there. Tell us the problems you faced and how you solved them. That is a great paper to me. If the limit says 30 pages, it's 30 pages. Unlike Raymond, I don't like these loose rules. Yes, if you had a 33-page paper, yes, there is one of you, because front page and the references count. I did not stop at page 30. I actually finished it up for you. But if you are a little over on something, say your PEL, OSHA or the EPA is not going to forgive you. That's why if you have a limit, and this is where Raymond and I differ a little bit, you got to stay within that. Now, I talked enough.
And of course, you realize I said, don't drone on so long that you got a limit.
I said I'd keep it within 35 minutes. So, for best technical report, third place team, please stand. Trine University, Foundry of Freedom. Are you guys buying at the bar tonight? I heard your name a couple times. Second place, Youngstown State University, George Washington's. And what I will say is that the difference between second place and first place, if you had a tolerance of a millimeter, plus or minus millimeter, it was within that. It was very close. But Raymond, this is a millimeter. First place, and I'd like to invite you to come up here with me, University of Wisconsin-Plattsville, Porden Pioneers.
I'd be interested afterwards for some of you to tell me whether or not it was more fun to make the sword, or was the performance testing, the testing you did, the most fun of the whole event. I really enjoy seeing the testing, and it's really thrilling, exciting, and excruciating, especially when the swords break. So it's really just a tremendous, wonderful event to really see. We make parts, but our parts get used, and when they break, that's a failure, but we need to learn from failure. And so we really should see every product we make as a success. Some of them are used and meet all the expectations. Others are things that we learn from. So that's really critical. Having said that, I want to bring Ben Abbott up, who's been our judge from the very beginning, to really recognize the performance awards and the other things that he observed. So come on up, Ben.
I really hope Raymond wasn't talking about me when he's talking about learning from failures. this is the 7th year I've done this. It's been amazing all the way through. My favorite part of it is talking to you, just learning from you and watching the light in your eyes as this is going on. And the grace in failure and the triumph of success, I mean, all of it is like, it's amazing. And when you watch someone who really has not grown up swinging a sword, which is essentially all of us, hit something with a sword for the first time, their eyes are like, this is cool. Like, it's just really, really animating, and I absolutely love it. This is all the brainchild of Raymond Monroe, and one thing to remember, I think I say this every year, you think that you're doing a competition. You're in this, you're making a thing, you want to win, this is a competition, and you're a team, and that's a great thing. But his genius head fake is, you're not in a competition. You're meeting all of these people that are going to be your coworkers or your friends or whatever for the rest of your life, and maybe you're going to get into this work, or maybe you're not. But either way, you've learned something by accident, and it's really cool. And I just got to give it to Raymond. Please, just a quick round of applause. I know you've applauded a lot, but. So one of the things I did since the beginning, a little cheeky little thing I like to do is I like to give the sort of the little awards, the most likely to succeed or whatever kind of thing. Let me turn this around. So I'm going to start with two. Hello? Yeah. I'm going to start with 2 awards that are based on Lord of the Rings, because this is a sword thing. So the first award is the Galadriel Award, which is the most pretty, elven, amazing-looking sword, and that certainly goes to the Vernon Vanguard from Cal Poly Pomona. And that thing, it was just gorgeous. It was a really beautiful sword. The second award is the Narsil Award. I don't know if you know about this, but that's the sword that broke into 1 billion pieces. So that has to go to the Instituto Tecnológico of Saltillo, because that thing went everywhere. So nice job on that. Speaking of weapons that broke in testing, there's one award I call the Saw That Coming Award. And that goes to the George Washington Carvers for their sawback sword that broke right at the saw. We all saw that coming. There was a sword that was entered that was outside of the specifications by a lot. And I call this one the Rods from God Award, because if you were to drop this off the Eiffel Tower, it would make a crater. And of course, that goes to the Brotherhood of Steel. That was a lot of sword, man. Nice job. I'll do the next ones quickly. I have the Flashy Ninja Award for the Broncos Are Coming, because of their black mirror polish. You'd never see that sword coming. I have a Lion Escaped the Zoo Award for Purdue Hammers Down, because their little lion pommel just ran off the rest of their sword. And then I have the You Broke My Heart Award. Trine University, that was such a beautiful sword. When it broke, so did my heart. Now, I know we always announce the grand winner right after the performance testing, so it kind of seems like all of this meant nothing except for the performance testing, and that's not actually true. So the performance testing factors in to the final award, but if it breaks, yeah, obviously that factors very heavily. But so you'll see a subtle difference in the performance award versus the grand prize awards. And here we go. So in third place for the best performance, we have University of Wisconsin-Platteville, Team Porin Pioneers. Please stand up. Their sword was super light and fast and sharp, but it took a little bend, so it couldn't, it didn't perform as well as it possibly could. Second place, we have Pittsburgh State University, the Silverback Swords. And in first place, Youngstown State University, George Washington. Come on up, guys. I wanted to say penguin so bad. Police my trash.
Every year, Ben and I try, and this year David Baker joined us, to make something similar to what we asked the students to make. And then we try and do some of the tests just to show how much fun it is. And we really enjoy making it. So Ben called me up a couple of weeks ago and said, are we doing that? And David Baker and I had already talked and said yes. And I had my sword cast in investment casting. And we did the competition. And I threatened and warned the judges not to count the fact that mine was cast against them. But they denied me. But it was great because Ben was up here for performance, and I won the performance testing for the adults. So. Yes. In any case, we're ready for the grand prize, and we're really fortunate to have Matt Draper, who was the cheerleader, host, but really the originator of the television show and the program and the new format we have that all of you enjoyed that we really thought was spectacular. So we've asked Matt to come up and make the grand prize first, second, and third place award. Come on up, Matt.
I know you're all in suspense about this one. Before I re-announce the grand prize winners, I first want to say we here in the Department of Defense, we work with Steel Founders Society of America because they make an impact. They make an impact on this industry every single day in little ways that many of you probably don't understand, in bigger ways, things like the Steel Performance Initiative. They have advanced the state of technology in our field. They have moved us towards automation. They keep our workers safe. They educate our students. They have done amazing things for this industry, and that is why we continue to support them. They are amazing. Let's give the Steel Founders Society a round of applause. And second, again, before we begin, I'll steal some of Ben's words a little bit. Raymond Monroe is an inspiration, is just an inspiration to all of us here. He is the reason why we are all standing here. He is the reason why this industry has been able to survive so much of the last turmoil. One of the things that I've talked about a lot in our field, in 1991, we had 55 suppliers that made HY steel. It's the steel that goes in the pressure hull of a submarine. Right? Today we have 13. Right? This industry has seen so much turmoil, but you know what? Today it's still on top, and it's meeting the tonnage numbers. Right? This industry is where it is in a big part because of Raymond Monroe, and he's such an inspiration. So please Give another. All right, now I will re-announce the grand prize winners. First in third place, Pittsburgh State University, the Silverback Swords. Please stand up. And in second place, the University of Wisconsin-Platteville, Pouring Pioneers. And before I talk about the first place team again, something that I want you all to recognize as you are thinking about next year, this team, you've heard them called up to the stage already before, you've heard them called for multiple awards already throughout the course of the day. This team, as well as several that came in top of performance and that I just talked about, they didn't just do well in performance. Right? The team that won had one of the best technical reports. The team that won had one of the best uses of the casting process. They won because they were a well-rounded team, and their submission met all of the marks and all of the metrics. So as all the rest of the teams that are looking to compete against them next year are thinking through what do you need to do, they thought through everything. They thought through how they were going to use the casting process to give themselves a capability advantage, and they documented it. Documentation in our world is just part of it. Right? And the better you do that, the better that you're going to succeed, the better you're going to learn and do better next time. So the top prize is Youngstown State University, George Washington. Give him a round of applause.
Maybe next, not behind.
First time I've been in the front row in a few years.
Congratulations again. Congratulations again. Yes, yes.
You're all going to wonder when and what we're going to make next year. And I have a principal responsibility in that, and I can tell you with absolute certainty, we have no idea. Absolute certainty. We will try to get that decided on before the end of May so that you can begin to plan. Notionally right now, because of the TV program and the need for a studio, we want to make it easier on you and give you a little more time and make it easier for you to participate. So we're exploring with the professors of doing it as soon as school closes, the last week of May or beginning week of June, so that you can still start a job the second week of June, but you can come and do the competition. And we will try to get that out as quickly as possible so that you can begin to plan and have the full school year to do the competition. So I hope that makes you feel like you can be more confident and do more. So I'm really looking forward to next year's competition. This has been a true delight. As I promised you, the judges will stay around, and if you want to take selfies and pictures with the judges, please make sure you do that and chat with them. and let's have some fun just talking to each other, doing some congratulations and hugs, and promising to see each other again next year. So thanks for coming, thanks for participating, and let's look forward to season 2 of Cast in Steel. Thank you.
Winning teams, you have some money coming to you. In order to get that, see Renee at that table over there. Thank you.
I got this feeling